Good morning. Welcome to Morning Meeting. So here's what's on my mind this morning. Story time. So the other day I was substitute teaching at a local high school, and the students, I was subbing for English, which I really enjoy subbing for English. Writer, like to sub for English. Why not? And this particular group of kids, it's ninth, 10th, and 11th. I don't have the seniors. The seniors work with another teacher. Anyway, one of the groups, and I want to say it was the sophomore class, if I recall correctly, they just finished up a couple weeks ago, finished reading To Kill a Mockingbird, which I'm just gonna put this out there right now. I don't care for the book. I don't consider myself the audience for the book. I don't care for the book. But anyway, I've been exposed to that book many times. So here we are. They finished the book, and in the teacher's notes, she wanted to have some sort of wrap-up discussion, comprehension check with the students about that book, even though they had finished it a couple weeks ago. And I'm assuming maybe it's because they're probably going to get some test questions on it on an upcoming assessment or something. So I'm like, okay, cool. I've been here, done that, got the t-shirt. Let's just do this, including with this class. So when they first started the book, I happened to be subbing for them, and we had a similar discussion. So they kind of know what to expect. And I've told them over the years, hey, look, you're not going to surprise me with anything. I know the N-words in the book. I know, I've heard it all. Nothing surprises me. Nothing will hurt my feelings. I don't get bothered by this stuff. So let's have this discussion. All right. What did you think of the book? Did you like the book? Did you not like the book? If you liked it, why? What was your favorite part? If you didn't like it, why? Why didn't you like it? Tell us what you least liked. Tell me anything. What do you think the themes of the book are? When was the book written? And what's the actual time period of the book? And why is that significant? Right. So that was the course of this discussion. And I told him everybody has to participate. So just be ready, because I'm going to call on every single person. Everyone is participating in this conversation. And I don't care what you say. These are just some ideas. And they're like, okay, cool. And so we're doing that. And so I went back to, well, who do you think the audience is for this book? And they know, having had the conversation with me before, that my view, my stance is that the audience for the book are white people. It's not black people. It's white people. That's just my perspective. You can have a different perspective. It's okay. You can love this book if you want to. That's okay. I just don't happen to like this book. And that's my perspective on it, which is also what I share with them. I'm like, we don't have to agree. It's a book. You can like it. I cannot like it. And we're all good. We can disagree. It's perfectly fine. That's an art. I should say, people have forgotten that we can have discussions and not agree and be okay at the end of that discussion. Okay. At any rate, so this one young man who I've known him since kindergarten. I've known a lot of these kids since kindergarten. This kid, he's very funny. He's a very entertaining kid. He tends to not take things too seriously, at least on the surface. He jokes around quite a bit, kind of a smart aleck once in a while. But I appreciate this. I have to say, I kind of like kids that are like that. So this kid's never really bothered me in terms of his behavior. He annoys other people, but not me. Great kid. All right. And he got up because he was going to get like a tissue or something. And he said, okay, y'all might not agree with me, but here's what I think. I think the audience for the book, I think it's white people. I mean, given the time period for the book, written in the 60s but takes place in the 30s, I think the audience is white people. And I said, okay, tell me more. Said, well, because I think it's white people because they needed to understand that this stuff happened and that it still happens, right? That's basically what he's explaining. And then he says, but I also think the audience is black people. And I went, tell me more about that. Why do you think that? And he said, well, because I think that it's important that black people see that not all white people are like that. And I think the book does that. And there was this sort of collective silence in the room for a hot minute, because it was like, wow, this is like a 15-year-old kid. That was a profound statement coming from this 15-year-old kid who's usually just joking around, right? But that was a really thoughtful assessment of it. And I can tell you, after all the years of exposure to this particular book and working with students, he is the first and only student who has ever said that I think it's also black people because they need to see that not all white people are like those people in this book. And I went, shit, that's okay. I didn't say that in class, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, wow, it was awesome as the teacher of the room to hear this kid say this. I loved hearing this. And I also love the fact that he said it among his peers who are all white. All of them heard this. And I went, yep, yep, he's good. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And now going forward, when I'm there to teach this particular book, I'm going to see if anybody else says that. See if anybody else brings that up. And if they don't, then I'll bring it up. And I'll say, okay, but what about this? Doesn't necessarily mean I've changed my mind or I agree or disagree. I'm just saying it's a really good point. It's a very valid point. And I loved hearing it from this young person. And as I said, first and only time it's ever happened in the many, many years, almost 10 years that I've been substitute teaching. And this book comes up, all the time. It's just one of those books that comes up all the time. But anyway, that's what's on my mind today. I was just thinking about that. Like, that was a beautiful, beautiful thing that happened that day. So I thought I'd share that with you. See ya.